Hey, what up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 96 of the Unknown Games Podcast. I'm your host, Adrian, and this is a video game show where we talk about what I just said, video games, and actually our life in Japan. And by our, I mean myself and my co-host, Alex, the Game Duck, the one and only.
Hey, what's up? Only 4 more episodes until we can kill ourselves.
Yep, that's very morbid, but we're gonna riff on that.
Can you imagine? Can people? Everyone thinks we're joking. We're actually.
I'm not. I'm perfectly fine. I don't know. You've been on this joke for almost the entire 100 episodes, so it might even be a prophecy for you. I don't know.
I've been making that
self-fulfilling
joke
prophecy
my whole life.
Dang.
Actually, yeah.
If I told you were heading towards it, no matter what, would you believe me?
What, death or me killing myself?
Oh wait, never mind. Those are two different things, but one leads to the other.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, thanks to everyone who's listening here. If you're listening on YouTube live, we do record every Monday night here in Japan at 9 p.m. Japan Standard Time, which is around 8 a.m. If you're in the U.S. on the East Coast. If you're somewhere else in the world, you can do the math yourself. I'm not a mathematician.
Yeah, God help you.
But what I am a mathematician on is the number of stars you can give us for, reviewing the podcast or subscribing. I guess you can't subscribe and give a review, can you, on YouTube? Is that a thing?
On YouTube, you can subscribe to the channel and then you can leave a comment and a like on this video. That would both be appreciated.
See, that's why this man is the co-host. He knows the most.
Yeah, so definitely there's the button, below this. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead, click that, and also see a little thumbs up. Go ahead, click that. Helps us out a lot.
There you go. And then if you're listening on iTunes, Google Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, any of those, Audible, any of those places, go ahead, leave a review, subscribe there as well, because you know what's better than just looking at our faces is when you don't have to look at our faces and you're driving and commuting and you're like, yo, I love their voices.
You know what's better? You just said. You know what's better? You know what's better than looking at our faces? Not looking at our faces. How about you don't? We're hideous, really. You should just stick to the audio version.
Yeah, stick to the audio version. But who knows? Someone might be curious now. They might be like, I wonder what they look like.
How ugly are these people?
Check out Unknown Games Podcast YouTube. There you go, everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't have too much today. I don't think there's too much. I know I was talking to Alex before the show, like, hey, what do you want to talk about? And he's like, I don't know. It's not much.
Me killing myself. Yeah. That's it.
I mean,
Can you imagine if, there's someone who's actually concerned, like, oh my god, this vulnerable, so he's fucking gone after this.
At this point, I think people might have to be concerned. We might have to call in a therapist or just somebody to be like, hey man, you okay?
Yeah, I don't want like the police to come or anything like that. Like,
what the thing is it makes sense now. It makes sense. I understand now why you play Pressure Wash Simulator.
Oh, because it's so chill.
It's so chill, and it's probably doing a lot more for you than even I imagined.
A therapist, yeah. Can you imagine?
It's free therapy. Free therapy.
Well, it's not free. It's like $20 therapy, but you just.
Well, I mean, you paid once, so.
Yeah.
Could be worse. You could be paying a monthly fee for it.
For a Pressure Washer Simulator, yeah.
Maybe you should get on out there, go find yourself some dirt in the world, and buy a pressure washer.
Buy a pressure washer and
become,
clean it.
Yeah.
It's so funny on the Steam. What is it, like the discussion forums for Pressure Washer Simulator, Power Wash Simulator? There's like one thread in there that I saw yesterday. I was like, did this game inspire anyone else to buy a Power Washer?
Did this game inspire anyone else is the actual question. Did this game inspire people? Does it inspire?
Yeah, this game inspiring. Yeah, I don't know. Good game though. You guys check it out. I stream it every now and then. Go ahead, follow me on twitch.tv/Root24. You might see me stream it every now and then.
Yeah, man, it's already working it in. Just go ahead and follow him on Root. I'm sorry, follow him on Twitch at Root24, Ah, gosh, I'm trying to do it again. I'm trying to spell
You're
24.
having a stroke right now. Yeah.
Yeah, 24. And then you can follow myself on Twitch at NinjaTrix, NinjaTrix. And you can also give my big brother Ninja a follow because, yes, we're related. Yeah, he
Can
doesn't
you
know it.
imagine someone like subs or follows to Ninja? It's like, yeah, I heard like NinjaTrix is your brother, and he's like, who the fuck? Yeah,
Who is that dude?
yeah,
Let me Google his channel. Let's see what he's doing.
yeah.
He's just up and coming, just trying to make ends meet. I see. Ninja, if you're
Mhm.
out there and you're listening to this podcast, or you do follow my channel for just 1 second, throw me an email. I'll get back
Yeah,
with you,
shout
buddy.
out to our most definite, actual, real life friend, Ninja. Yeah.
Oh man. Anyway, so for the show this week, like I said, not going to talk too much, but we want to update you on Japan life. What's happening here in Japan? Because, uh, hey, it's not something you get every day in the news. I mean, unless you're here in Japan, then you
Unless you live in Japan, then living in Japan is every day for you. Yeah, that's the
exactly.
reality you live in. Yeah.
Exactly. So, as of yesterday, the Olympics officially ended for not the Paralympics. That's coming up, but the I guess
The not
the
Paralympics.
not Paralympics. It always gets kind of strange for me to say like what do I call it? It's like it's not like is this the main Olympics? They're both the main Olympics, but
Yeah, it's I totally understand what you mean. Like it's almost offensive to just say like, oh, the main Olympics
yeah,
versus versus Paralympics. Like they're athletes as well, obviously, right? Like they're
dude,
just
some
yeah,
crazy cool. I mean, it's amazing just how much the human body can do. And
yeah.
when you don't have certain senses, how the other senses are, just so heightened.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that any like Olympic athlete, Paralympic athlete or not, can absolutely kick my ass. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they can any day, anytime. Like,
Yeah, anyone, doesn't matter what sport you're in, any sport, and it doesn't matter. You can just kill me. Yeah.
so I was looking at the closing ceremonies yesterday because I was looking forward to seeing if there was going to be some sort of Nintendo or more video game stuff that would
Oh,
happen
right.
there,
Mm-hmm.
and there at least for the half that I watched, there totally wasn't. I checked Twitter, there wasn't either. And instead, what I ended up finding was I was just like, oh, okay, so all the athletes are on the field and it looks like a Disney parade. It literally felt like a Disneyland parade that they do here with everyone just kind of circled up, and then there's like a musical act happening in the middle, and people, it was just like a lot of performers and dancers, right?
So it sounds
And
really boring, really.
it was kind of underwhelming, and the one moment that just got me like what in the world is when they played a cover of the Demon Slayer opening.
Which one? Gurenge?
Garinga, yeah,
That
yeah.
was a good song though. So I mean, I
It was
don't fault
just
them.
it was like 10 but it was like 20 seconds or so. It was just like a pop in, and it was done by like I guess one of the bands here in Japan, like a high school band.
Hmm.
And it was just like, okay, so people are just out there dancing, street musician kind of style, doing some stuff, and then like Gringe comes on and they're still dancing, and I'm like, oh, I guess Demon Slayer's still going.
I mean,
Never
yeah,
never
it is
stopping.
such. I mean, Demon Slayer itself is such an interesting phenomenon just because like how successful the movie was.
And
Um,
still going,
yeah, isn't it?
apparently.
Like it is absolutely like officially like the most like money making animated film of all time, correct?
I believe so.
Like beating out Spirited Away
Yeah,
even and
yeah.
in Your Name and just crushing everything. And this
It's
is a this what's amazing to me is that I mean I can understand Spirited Away for a long time it was just because of what it was. It has um the Miyazaki name to it, right?
right, right.
And it's like it's a standalone like just big budget in quotation marks here animated film. Your Name very much the same deal. Like it's just a standalone. Like this is a movie we created. It's meant to be an not an anime movie. It's meant to be a movie that happens to be animated, right?
Right, right.
But Demon Slayer is like a fucking like arc from a
From
Shonen Jump manga. It's amazing, really. Yeah,
it's not like an original, like a
yeah.
lot of
It's
times
just yeah.
like anime movies in theaters are typically either a spin-off of like it's just like a one-off random episode that didn't even happen in the manga or anything like
Correct.
that.
Yes, correct. Or it's
Or
like another arc that they decided to turn into a movie, right?
exactly, or
Like an
something like,
example of this is like if you look at the Naruto movies or the Bleach movies,
oh gosh,
they're
good
just like
goodness.
they're just like standalone. Like it's a it's like an
It's basically
episode.
like it could have happened.
It's like an episode that I stretched out into like a movie length, so it's
Exactly.
kind of bad to be honest.
Yeah, because they're not even like the villains don't actually show up in the main series at
Yeah, yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah,
And they're like
yeah.
throwaway. You're like, why are you guys losing to these
Throwaway
people? Like,
villains that
what's
show
happening?
up.
Like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, or it's like they took an arc of a series and then they're like, oh, we don't want to put this into an anime season. We want to just turn this into a movie for some reason. So that's like No Game No Life, Konosuba, and Demon Slayer as well,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Right.
So that's typically how animated movies work, or anime movies rather. Anime movies work, not animated movies rather. Sorry, but
So so that was the kind of a surprise right there, and I was like, okay, that's cool. I wasn't expecting it at this late in the game. And then of course, you had brought this up earlier when we were talking about this guy who on the Odakyusen, which is a train line,
yeah,
which
I brought this. It's not like
so most
this isn't like good news or anything like that.
no, it's not.
Pretty out there.
It's
Yeah.
pretty out there.
Do you want to just say what it is, or really briefly? I mean, I believe okay, it was like Saturday or Sunday, yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah,
No, I think last Friday. Last Friday.
yeah. I wake up on it's on the weekend for sure. Like no, the incident was on a Friday, I think, but I wake up on like Saturday, I guess, and I get a message on Discord from a friend who lives in the area, and he's like, "Hey, check this shit out," and I was like, "What the fuck happened?" So a guy in his mid 30s had gotten onto a train, the Odakyu line in Tokyo.
Right.
So it starts in like in Kanagawa and then goes into Tokyo. So I believe it was by Setagaya Station, if I'm not mistaken.
Believe
Just
so. Yeah.
just in the middle of the city. So this guy goes and he stabs 10 people on the train. So like imagine you're on a moving locomotive and you're kind of trapped really because it's moving, and this guy is just like going on a stabbing spree
Right, right.
inside the train car. So this happened on Friday. So he seriously critically injured one woman in her 20s, I want to say. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was a I'm thinking of the Japanese word, but a college student,
Right.
and that
And
was the
then
first person he stabbed. He stabbed her in the back,
and the front and the
in the
chest.
front. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I believe the nine other victims were not victims, sorry, what's the word? Not let's people got stabbed, I guess, because they didn't die or anything. But
Yeah,
like
yeah. No one died. The
thankfully
girl was
thankfully no one
critically
died.
injured,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
but the nine other people, I were they like trying to restrain him or something, or he was just like,
I think he had just kind of gone on a spree at that
oh no,
point.
yeah,
They interviewed him after everything had was
yeah,
said and done, and he was like,
yeah.
I don't remember what happened after I stabbed her, and it seems like he had been planning this. From what I was gathering information, he was planning this for like 5 to 6 years,
Yeah, so I read in the news. He said he was like harboring thoughts about killing someone for the last couple of years.
and he was like,
It's pretty fucked up. His statement was that his motive was that he wanted to kill him. You probably read this as well, but
yeah,
he wanted to kill someone. He wanted to kill anyone who looked happy.
happy. Yeah,
Yeah,
it seemed like it was essentially like, yeah, all these happy people walking around
yeah,
like I'm not happy, and so I mean
yeah.
it's one of those things where in the West these kind of crimes and end up typically with guns or more
Right, right, correct, correct.
unfortunately
I want
like
to.
a grander scale
Right, I would be inclined to agree with you. I mean, this is definitely a topic that could fester into something like we could end up talking about this for a long, long time. Like
yeah,
if
yeah,
we like let it get out of control. But like, um, if you want to try to keep it like not like not that long. I mean, so yeah, he said he wanted to kill anyone who was happy, who looked happy rather, and then he escaped. He got off the train. He said the emergency brake was pulled on the train. He jumped onto the tracks and he ran away.
right.
Um, he ended up hiding in like a Family Mart, I
In a
believe,
Family
which is
Mart,
a
it was
convenience
so
store.
weird.
Yeah. And then the police came and they came to arrest him there. He basically gave himself up. He was
Yeah,
tired of
yeah,
running, and he went to a convenience store. And then the clerk working there at the time basically called the police and was like, this guy is here.
yeah.
Come
Yeah,
get him. Come arrest
come
him."
come come and get this dude. There was a
Yeah.
statement from someone who was there at the convenience store where he actually went up to him and he said like, "Hey, you want to shake my hand?" And the other person is like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, you should shake my hand because I'm about to be pretty famous pretty soon." And the other person's like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, not for anything good, but Do you want to shake? You
So
should shake my hand.
wild.
It's like so
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
Uh,
Can you imagine being that goddamn clerk who has to like call the police? It's like, yeah, there's a stabber here. Like, you know what I
there's
mean? Like, yeah.
yeah, and like I guess he was acting so strange because the person that he asked to shake his hand or whatever actually walked over to him because he was like, this dude, I saw this dude over here, and he looked kind of like suspicious, like he looked actually suspicious,
Hmm.
and just wanted to like check in and be like, what's happening over here. But yeah, I mean, like every once in a while in Japan we do get these kind of
Crimes, yeah. Yeah. They're
crimes.
very
And
rare. I mean, to be clear, these kind of things happen extremely rarely. Well, extremely rare. I wouldn't say like maybe once a year on average or something, which is quite rare for a population of
yeah,
this size. Um, but I feel like this happening is definitely like it's out there and it's weird, but this definitely comes like what comes to mind for me is like, um, does Japan need a better mental health care system? Like, do you think this guy could have like not stabbed someone? You know what I mean? Like,
like actually kind of because like you said, it's like 5 to 6 years he was thinking
yeah,
about this, and maybe there were some signs and warnings.
yeah. Could
Uh,
this guy like, if he had help, do you think he could have not helped someone? Sorry, not stabbed
it's
someone. You
not,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
I
Yeah,
mean, Japan has a for people who don't know, unfortunately, it does have a very high rate of suicide. Probably, I believe,
extremely
like
high. It's extremely high.
either
Yes.
I think it's
Yeah.
above America. It's either one or two. It's somewhere up there in the world of
Yeah.
just extremely high. And mental health care is it isn't exactly in the spotlight a lot. I know with the Olympics this year, and some of the athletes uh, kind of being questioned or kind of coming out and saying like, hey, these things have affected me. They actually did a poll. I guess the commission, the Olympic
Mm-hmm.
Commission here in Japan, they did a poll
Mm.
on all their athletes and found like 60 something percent were depressed. I was like, what?
Of athletes?
Of
Damn,
their
dude.
athletes that were in the Olympics. I was like, geez
Yeah.
Louise.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, that's a thing. I'm not gonna say like if you come to Japan, you're gonna automatically be depressed or something. No, that's not the case.
You
But
end up
just
like me. You'll kill yourself in 100 episodes. Yeah.
the 100, why 100? That's what everyone's gonna ask. Like, first, why 100? Second, why didn't I do anything? I'm gonna be on the grilled spotlight. Like,
Oh,
I didn't.
why did you help me?
Yeah. Why? What would you do? I was like, I watched him play Pressure Wash Simulator. I thought it was the I thought it was helping him.
That's so funny. No, no. I would definitely say that mental health is it's not too great in Japan, honestly. Um, yeah, I have a friend actually who was trying to get like medication for like depression and that kind of stuff like a couple years ago. Yeah.
Hmm.
He actually legitimately had like relatively a hard time trying to get a prescription for antidepressants. Like he would go to like a doctor or something like that, and more than one doctor, several doctors that he tried to talk to were just like, oh, like you don't need antidepressants, like just exercise more, or just
Oh
like
wow,
yeah,
just
just exercise more, just eat a little better, just get a little more sleep. Like he he like he like knew that he was depressed and really wanted to get like actual like medication for it, but it
right.
was hard for him to get it. And I think that shows, he actually went to like professionals like doctors, right? And I think it shows
Okay.
that like even in Japan, like in 2021, like mental health isn't like as, what's the word, like people aren't aware of it as they should be, as opposed
Yeah,
to other countries. Yeah.
aware and just also kind of accepting, right? Just kind
Yeah.
of like like you were mentioning about the medicine. Uh, Medicine typically isn't too strong here in Japan. Like, I mean, they don't want. I feel like doctors don't want to prescribe even for like common colds or anything like that.
Yeah,
They don't want to
God
prescribe
forbid.
like
Yeah.
actual
Yeah.
strong medicine for you.
Mm.
It's more like, here, just take some of this, rinse it down with some water today, and if it doesn't get better tomorrow, you can come on back, and or they
Yeah.
give you a few days worth of some yeah, less strong
I
medicine.
I remember a couple of years I had a fever. I went into a clinic and I got prescribed Compo, actually. Do
I
you know
think
what
I
that
had
is?
that. It's
You've
just
had that before?
I'm trying to remember what it is actually.
It's like
It's like a
Chinese,
powder.
it's Chinese herbs,
Herbs,
baby.
right?
It's
Right.
not even like it's not even like Western medicine. And I'm not trying to like knock uh I don't want to say alternative medicine because that has a different connotation entirely. Um, but as a Westerner, it is interesting that I got prescribed like
Like
Chinese like
Chinese
herbal
herbal medicine.
remedies, yeah, as opposed to if I went to like anywhere else, like in back home, like to be like, oh, have a shitload of painkillers. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
like, and I guess actually, I have not had compo. Now that I think about it, but
it tastes like shit, man. It's fucking awful. Yeah.
it probably does. Put it in your tea. Just put it in your tea, and it'll taste
Oh
better.
no, yeah, they're like, hey, just dissolve this in water. I'm like, okay, just drink this in water, and I was like, sure. It tastes just like bitter, like yeah,
Just
just it's bad. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Anyways, that's a little bit on Japan life. If you'd like to hear us talk more about that, definitely just follow us on Twitter. Oh, well, just write to us on Twitter or write to us on this video. Leave a comment. Just let us know. I mean, we both lived here in Japan for 9 to 10 years, and or 9 going on 10 years, and
Yeah, I forgot how
um,
long it's been actually.
yeah. I mean, it's technically since you probably studied abroad, it's been 10 years.
It's been 10 years,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, it's been 10 years. And yeah, so I guess moving on in terms of Japan life again, unfortunately, arcades are kind of some arcades. I'm not gonna say all arcades. Probably our local arcade I know is still kind of open, like the smaller ones that still get some traffic. But these larger arcades, I know that earlier this year, Sega had kind of sold off a good.
Their business, the arcade business, to I can't remember who it was, but yeah, Sega sold their arcade business.
Yeah, and I think the one in Akihabara, that was the one that closed down. Like their I believe that was the one. They have multiple of these, like kind of nine
Sure,
floor
yeah. So there's a
big
couple Sega
ones.
arcades in Akiba, right? The one that closed down, I mean, you probably know. I mean, our listeners might not know this, especially if you don't, live in Japan or never been to Japan. You might know this though. It was a Sega arcade that was by Book Off in Akiba. So
Right.
not the one on Meiji-dori, not the main street that everyone goes on in Akiba. It was the one by Book Off. So if you go, oh God, do you know the Electric Town exit from Akiba?
Yeah, yeah.
The one that exits by the Gundam Cafe and the AKB Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
If you go at that exit and go straight, you'll have the Atre to your left, and then if you go down to where the street, it becomes like a T-section street. If you go left, there'll be a Book Off down that road. If you go walk for like 3 minutes, it's the arcade over there. It
Okay.
was the arcade over there.
But yeah, I mean, so that's kind of happening. With less traffic, and this one that's just closing here, after almost 30 years, in Ikebukuro, which is another pretty big city. Uh,
Yep.
9 stories, so there's a lot of arcades. A lot of times that these arcades, they do have a pretty good amount of space in them. But what they'll do is they'll have one floor that's dedicated only to like crane games or in UFO catchers. You know what I mean? And
Correct.
then
Yeah,
like
definitely. Yeah. So
yeah,
like
and then
one or two floors will be crane games, and then they're divided by genre. I believe like
by
fighting
yeah,
games has its own floor
yeah,
usually.
yeah, yeah. It's typically
Yeah.
genre after that. So,
Music
rhythm
games and that
games will
kind of
have,
yeah.
yeah,
And then
uh,
fucking coin game,
coin games.
the smoke
Oh, those
corner.
coin. I never understood those coin games. I mean,
Hey,
it's not
okay.
Japan unique. Those are not
Oh,
Japan unique. Where you just you put a coin
dude.
in and then they push a coin down and
The
it's
coin
like
dozers, yeah?
yeah, the coin dozers. Like what I've never understood like the hype about those things.
Dude, oh, here's the thing. Okay,
What's
I'll straight up.
addicting?
I don't know what it is, but they're addicting. So I remember, like, this was a couple years ago. I was like, oh my God. So I was with my girlfriend. And depending on like where the arcade is, if it's in like a shopping mall, sometimes they're like, oh, if you see a movie, for example, bring us the receipt, bring us your ticket, and you'll get either like one crane game like play, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or like you'll get like 10 or 20 like medals, the coins, right, for these coin dozers. And I remember like I went with my girlfriend and we got like so fucking like we were playing these coin dozer games for like hours. So we spent the whole evening playing them. You probably like and like before anyone asked, no, you can't get like money off these. You don't get prizes from these. You win nothing. Honestly, you win
Wait,
nothing.
I thought you actually get like the coins are tradable or something, right? Like,
No, this isn't like a arcade back home where you would trade it for like a
what do
giant
you
stuffed
get
bear.
then?
You get
What
nothing.
what happens?
You get
You get
nothing.
there has to be something like you get like no, there's because there's
No.
so many coins in those machines.
Yeah,
It can't
no.
just be toss your money in
It's
here.
for nothing. Yeah, it's for nothing.
Well, you know what? Actually, it's not your money. It's the current currency there, right? Like the
Yeah,
coins. Yeah,
no, fuck, the coin dozers, it's a different coin than like it's not yen or anything
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
It's not
No.
real money. It's just
No,
a
it's honestly the coins from the coin dozer machines. You use them for anything. There's no prizes to be traded. It's not pachinko or anything like that.
It's that
Yeah,
real deal, man. You
it's
know,
it's
and there's probably something psychological about
yeah, that's what it
wanting
is.
to see those the
Yes, yes,
coins
yeah,
just
exactly,
drop, just
exactly.
fall down, like all of them at one time,
Yeah,
and just
yeah,
feel like you
yeah.
did it. You accomplished some major stuff.
It's absolutely like a psychological like loop. So the thing about the coin dozers is like, yeah, like when you see the coins, a lot of coins fall, you're like, ooh, that's so good. They give me more of these coins. But a lot of the modern coin dozer machines in Japan, they have these, I don't know, like these systems that are like, they'll be like, oh, every time you get some coins, a roulette will spin, and then if you get like a match, it'll drop like a ball, like an orb or something, onto the field. And then if you can drop like, let's say seven, just for example, seven of these orbs in, down the hole, then you get like some kind of medallion or something like that. And then once you have three medallions, you're eligible for the big jackpot. Within a daily jackpot's like thousands of coins or something like that. And then like it's this huge loop, and every time you play you're like, oh, I'm six orbs, why don't I play a little bit more, maybe we'll drop a seventh. And then like once you got your seventh orb, then you get like, oh, but I'm so close to this other thing. And it's a psychological loop. It's seeing the coins drop and you're so close to getting that jackpot.
Addiction, man. It's
Yeah, it's
dangerous.
crazy, dude. It's crazy. Like I've honestly, I'm be honest with you, man, I've spent probably like hours playing one of these games. Yeah.
I think I did it only once at like
Yeah,
a round one kind of deal,
yeah, yeah,
and they
yeah,
had
yeah.
and it's so weird because it does feel like you're almost in like a casino, like a
Yeah.
Vegas style casino little
Yeah,
environment,
yeah.
but you're
Because there's like
not
so much noises, like lights and everything.
exactly.
And like, let's say for example, someone at your station, not your station, right? The game you're playing usually has like four, five,
And
seven, a
it's
bunch
like
of
a round
seats.
table, right? It's like
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. And if someone at that game, that big ass machine, is at jackpot or something like that, there'll be an announcement. It's like Station 4 is going for
I'm
the
telling you,
jackpot.
I'm
Yeah,
telling
and
you
you're like,
how you get that gamble. How do you
yeah,
get
I
your gambling
know.
fix?
And
That's
you're
how you
like,
do it.
yeah, it's crazy. It's addicting. Honestly, it's actually addicting, and you win nothing. Like you don't win money. You just, yeah, I don't
You
know,
just
man.
wish like you could come back with like just a little bit of like a juice box or something, anything
Yep.
like some candy, and that's a completely different little game that they have here too, like with just a bunch of snacks inside the machine. I mean, that's nothing
Oh
new. That's
yeah,
nothing they new,
dude.
but sometimes they'll have like some
Yeah.
ridiculous size, like here, have a family pack. What?
Oh man, what's
Take
the weirdest? No, these are like the crane game kind of things that are like at there. I remember the machine called Cyclone. Probably you're growing up in the '90s in North America, right? Where you get tickets out of that thing, where you stop the light.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
They have something similar here in Japan. It's not called Cyclone, but same idea. And then if you can stop the light or whatever it is, it'll drop chocolates, usually cookies or something, right?
Yeah, there's just a stack of stuff.
Of like, or calorie made or something like that. What's the weirdest food or snack you've seen in one of these machines at an arcade?
I've never seen a weird snack before.
Oh yeah.
I've just seen like ridiculous sizes, like 40, 50 or something. Just like you like going home on a train with it is not
Hmm.
fun. I literally saw someone walking with it and it was bigger than the plush that they had rolled, like a big plush. And I was like, this does not look fun. I think I won something like that too. And I got back home and it was like 30 bags of small potato chips in like this one big like
A giant bag.
cardboard box of a
Yeah, yeah,
potato
yeah.
chip. Yeah, and I was just like, this was annoying to walk home with, but
But it was worth it because they have a shitload of chips. Yeah.
I did. I did. I ate them
So
for a week.
for me, the weirdest thing was a stack of, what's the English word, of saba sardines.
Sardines? Oh,
Yeah.
no. Saba's not sardines, right?
I forget. Sometimes I don't know what the English words are anymore. It's saba. Let me look it up real quick.
I mean, it's a fish for
Mackerel,
anyone. Okay,
mackerel,
okay.
mackerel. So, yeah, I was in an arcade, and usually it's like chocolates or cookies or whatever, gum. Sometimes I don't know, calorie made I've seen. But in this arcade, you could just win like cans of fish, of mackerel. I'm like, who the fuck? Who wants this?
Somebody was like, I need something for dinner this week.
Yeah, can you imagine?
I
It's
need
like, oh,
something for dinner
can you
this
imagine?
week.
It's like, oh, I only have 100 yen. How can I turn this into a meal?
You better get it.
And
You
you're like,
better
oh
get
boy,
it.
yeah.
You better get it.
I was at another arcade, and the prize was like a Red Bull, right?
Oh, that's not bad.
Which is like a thing that I would drink normally. I drink so much Red Bull. Anyone who follows me on stream knows this because I talk about Red Bull and coffee all the time on stream. It's basically my blood at this point. But what's up, Wesley? But like the man, so I was in an arcade and the prize was yeah, a can of Red Bull, and it was like 100 yen per play, right? If you know anything about the price of Red Bull in Japan, a can of Red Bull is 200 yen, right?
Right.
So
Yeah, 205, yeah.
you have to win that can at 200 yen,
Or you're losing money. Or you're
or
just losing
you
money.
lost
Or you're just losing
money.
money. You're just losing money. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of fun, like when you have to talk about like arcades and just how much, if you do it right, you saved money. Like even for
Yeah.
like prize figures, right? Typically a prize figure is
Yes.
like
Oh
20
my
bucks.
God. Yeah. Yeah.
So you want to be like, hey, if you do it right, you're not paying 40 bucks for it. You're paying at least 20 or less. But when you get to that point, like, do you just keep going because you realized
Oh God. The sunk
it's
cost
I've
fallacy, right? Sunk
yeah,
costs. Yeah.
I've already sunken this much. I might as well just keep on going. It's a sinking
Oh
ship. I might as well sink to
yeah.
win. I
Yeah.
might as
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
sink to
Yeah.
win.
Dude. How much? What is the most amount of money that you've spent on a crane game?
I try not to do crane games because I'm so bad at them. But those machines where uh crap, what is it? No, those they are crane games, but they have like it's like the little capsule, right? And it's typically like an Akihabara. They'll have like, hey, you can win like a
Oh
PlayStation
yeah,
5
yeah.
or
It's
something.
like, oh,
And
win a PS4. Yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
know
yeah,
those
and
are.
that
Yeah.
stuff in the inside the capsule, it's like weighted.
It's like a tick. It's like a ticket or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I've spent almost 20. I've definitely spent almost 20 bucks a couple times on those because I'm
But
like,
but you won nothing.
but I won nothing. But
So like when at what point are you like I have to leave? I can't do it. Like what at what point is that for
when I
you?
run out of quarters or
You run out of
coins,
money
yeah,
essentially.
when I run out of coins, because it's not like I'm putting dollar bills, and then it's like, okay, this is what I came with, and then like I might go back to the exchange little thing and do it one time, and I'm like, okay, this is it. And if I don't, then it's like, okay, well, that's fine, because at the end of the day, if I did win, it would have been like $20 for a PS4. That's a
Yeah, it's
steal. That's a
fair.
bargain.
I have a story about one of those actually. I don't know if it's the same one. Probably not. It's gone now, but it was also in Akihabara. It was the same thing. So it's like a little crane game. You try to get a capsule, and then you like it's marked on the capsule. This one's a PS4. This one's a 3DS. This one's tickets to Disneyland or whatever, right?
Right, right.
So I was standing behind someone trying to win a PS4. They tried like 3, 4 times, didn't win, right?
Mm-hmm.
He leaves. I'm like, yeah, I'll try my luck. Look, this guy's really close to that guy. Like that PS4 capsule is pretty close to the hole. I'll try my luck, right? I put in 100 yen and I win a PS4 on the first try. Like I straight up just won that PS4.
I'm not happy. I've never done that.
I won the PS4, but like I wasn't like super jazzed because at that point I already owned one. I already had a PS4 already,
It's
right?
not. Hey, but you got it though. You could resell
I
it. You can do
did. I
whatever you
got it, and
want.
exactly, I resold it. I resold it. So I got that PS4. I took the train, um, home basically, and I went to a book off to sell it, to flip it basically. And flip.
How does that work? Because it's unopened at that point, right? And it's
They
not
they'll
used.
buy it. They'll buy it. They'll buy it. They bought it from me, right? There are no
Uh,
questions asked.
Did they
Yeah.
buy it new? Like buy it for the full price, or
No, they
was it
bought
like it
it.
was
They
used?
they bought it used because
Okay, yeah.
it's I want to say like technically used in the sense that I
You took it
touched
from
it.
one place to
Yeah.
the to another.
Yeah, so Book Off bought it from me. I got at that time, I don't know, like Neiman or something like that,
Almost
which
200. Okay,
which
it's
well, if you factor in the cost of a PS4, that's not a lot of money, but you have to remember that I spent 100 yen. So it's
you spent a dollar.
basically yeah, it's 200 yen of pure profit. Or sorry, 20,000 yen of pure profit because I
Yeah,
only spent 100 yen, right?
I mean, you basically got 200 $200 back,
Here's the kicker though. Here's the best part of that story. So I'm leaving Book Off.
and you bought another PS.
No. I'm leaving Book Off. I basically got Neiman 20,000 yen for this PS4 that I won for 100 yen, right?
Right?
As I leave Book Off, I spy 100 yen on the ground.
Oh, you got your money back.
I got my money
Holy
back.
crap.
Yeah,
That's so yo, that's when you know you were chosen.
yeah,
That is fate right there. When when you got your money back on that, that's something
yeah,
else.
yeah.
I've only had one moment where I did like one of those it was kind of a game where you had to trace your finger over a maze. as
Oh, I
like the
remember
light was
this.
going.
This is back in America, right?
In America, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember these. It's called Hot Finger or something like
Hot
that. Yeah.
Finger or something,
Yeah.
and I won 2 Game Boy Advances in a row, like back to back, and then a copy of Burnout Paradise for Xbox, and I didn't even own an
You know an
Xbox. Like, yeah, I didn't
Xbox.
own a
Yeah.
360, and I was just
Yeah.
like, what? Why do I? Whoa, that is the only time in my life I've been lucky at the arcade. The only
Yeah.
time. It's never happened ever after that. So, but I guess we should kind of mention, since we're on the topic of Book Off, and we don't have to talk about it too long, but like Book Off is essentially like a really, is it, would you even say it's a nice blockbuster?
Oh, what is a book off?
What is a Book Off? I mean, it's
Uh,
a, because
I want to
because
say,
used sales here in Japan. I mean, you want to talk about like GameStop and stuff like that. Yeah,
yeah.
bump GameStop. It's a freaking empire over here for just
Yeah, book off is
everything.
like the best, dude. Yeah. Yeah, book off, I want to say, is honestly just like a secondhand store because they don't just sell books, they don't just sell manga, they don't sell just games. They also sell music. They sell, and depending on the size of the book off, they also sell appliances. They'll sell clothes. You can get musical
Musical
instruments.
instruments, yeah,
Yeah, you can get so much stuff from a book off.
in good
So,
condition too. Like they
yes.
keep them in, like they make sure
Yeah.
that what's traded in is in good condition. Even like manga, like I have manga back there, like books that I have that are just like, hey, it's basically new,
Yeah,
no torn
so
pages or anything like that.
I sell a lot of my stuff at Book Off. I've sold a PC monitor. I've sold a smartwatch. I've sold a lot of my games. That's like baseball. That's it. Those are all the things that I ever buy in my life. But yeah, based all that stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like there is a thing where you can, that people will just go buy a game and then like
Flip it like a
and
day
flip it
after. Yeah,
like
the day
immediately, like
after.
two
Yeah,
3 weeks after that, get pretty good amount back, and then just go buy another game and kind of keep doing that cycle. But
yeah.
yeah, it's more popular here in Japan than people would probably think. Same with Staya, which is essentially is Blockbuster. The fact that a Blockbuster style thing is still up and going.
Well, at least for music and manga, because you gotta. People might not know this, but game rentals in Japan is illegal. Actually,
Really.
it really is. Yeah.
So that's why they can only sell it.
They used to be, that's correct, yeah. So they used to be legal in Japan back in the, I want to say like early 90s or something like that. You could rent games like you could in any other country, but Japanese video game makers panicked like they tend to always, and tried to, and pushed, like lobbied to get a law passed that made game rentals illegal because they were afraid it would result in lost sales.
And now they're on Game Pass. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, wait, well, maybe not every Japanese game, but yeah, I mean, like I could see like how that would kind of cause me, like, or if I were like a, a game owner, not owner, but maker or whatever, I'd be like, oh snap, people are gonna like, like rent this game,
And
not
never
even give
play,
us,
not pay for mine.
yeah, yeah,
But here's the thing: is like, oh God. But use as a result, used games like Book Off they're doing so well
they're
because
doing so well, and it's
like
it's it's exactly the same thing. People are essentially renting those games.
it's even worse really because like I keep them, like I'm keeping those games really because like I just look behind me. I would say maybe half of my games or a third of my games were purchased secondhand from Book Off. Book Off gets 100% of those profits. Like
Yeah, a whole 100%.
the publishers get zero from that. You
Yeah,
know
I
what I
don't
mean?
I don't think Book Off actually has any new games, as in like they don't order a stock and
Oh,
then
like
just like,
Shinpin?
hey, yeah, I don't think they have like just brand new stuff on day
Yeah,
one.
you are correct.
They get
Yeah.
brand new stuff from the people who bought it and then sold it to them the
Yeah,
day
you're
one,
right.
like day one too. That's the craziest thing. You can
Yeah.
go there day one and the game you're looking for is going to be there.
I mean, if you live in a big like
If you
city,
live in
for
a big
sure.
one,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, more than likely you're going to
Um,
find it and you're like, huh, it's already out here.
if you want to save, like it is a game that you're curious about, and you want to save even just a little bit of money, wait like one day, go to Book Off, and you might just find it there.
I just
So
find it
yeah,
there. That's Book Off. We'll have to, hopefully once you know everything calms down, maybe if ever, we can go, like, just, I don't know, go to a Book Off or something
yeah,
and
we
kind
can
of like
like
show some of these things
hit
because
up the
they're
one in like
interesting.
Akihabara or something like that. Yeah,
Those giant Book Offs,
yeah. The one in
and
Akiba though isn't that big. I want to say, have you been to the one like in
I haven't
Akiba?
been to that one. I know the one like close, like semi close to where we live is, there's like a couple big ones, I think.
There's the one that I live 20 minutes by is like decently sized. They don't have that many games, but they have a lot of figures of anime figures, and it's crazy.
I went to when I was in Okinawa. there was a place that it's not Book Off. I guess it's their own version of Book Off, but it was a warehouse sized version. It was in it was insane. It was like, what on earth is this? It was like Don Quixote meets
Like everything is like secondhand.
everything is just secondhand, but there's just so much. It's just a
Yeah,
warehouse full of it. And I was like,
there
man, this is
is.
insane.
Oh my God. Yeah, there's well, the where I used to live, like before I moved last year, that book off, uh I want to say like two, maybe 4 years ago, 3 years ago, they just started carrying more than just video games and books. They started carrying like anime stuff, anime goods, anime figures, right?
Right,
And
right.
that section exploded. If you go back now, it's like 3 to 4 aisles, maybe more than that, of anime figures. Of anime figures. It's just like prize figures, like Nendroids, scale figures. It's just you can just get them a book off. It's
It's
madness.
crazy. It's
Yeah,
madness.
yeah.
But yeah, I guess we'll kind of round it out today and close on the not close on the show, close down the
How long have we
show.
been podcasting for?
We've yeah, no, it's only been like it's been like 40 minutes.
Oh, damn, dude.
I know it goes by so quickly. But I guess before we do, I'm just gonna run through like a bunch of news that that I've kind of like found. I know we were talking about some of these things before, and we'll just kind of like blow through them. Evo is going on right now. The I don't know what Evo stands for actually, but if
Evolution.
it's just Evolution Fighting Game Series, I think
Yep.
is the full thing. But yeah, that's happening right now. If you're interested in following or watching some fighting games from Guilty Gear, Mortal Kombat, I think Street Fighter V is still going on. Definitely tune into that. You can follow them on Twitch. Just look up Evo or any other website like YouTube. I think they stream there too. But yes, it's this week. This weekend, and then it's also next weekend. This is the first time I think Evo has been 2 weekends in a row. I don't think it's ever been just like two weekends.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason is it's because it's all online this year. Typically, it's it's a full actual event. But I gotta say, so far there's been a couple technical difficulties, but everything's been running pretty smooth. The casters have been really good, and the matches have been really nice. The way that they've gotten around a lot of the lag for some of these a lot of these games are delay based netcode. They've just said, hey, look, this is the Asia region. This is like North America is literally North America East and West, I think, have their
Right.
own finals. I don't know if next weekend they're going to actually combine some of these, but Europe has its own finals. So that's what's been kind of happening. So it is kind of interesting because there's a lot of people who can enter now, and before Evo would have been something where only people who are willing to pay for a plane ticket to come to America or are sponsored on a team,
Right, right.
those were your
You had to go to
competitors.
Vegas, right? Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So I was actually watching one of my favorite players. She got knocked out quick. She got knocked out in pools, and I was like,
Wait,
man.
who did?
I don't. Yu. She plays Tekken.
Okay.
But I was just like, oh man, that kind of sucked. And like, what's kind of cool though about this year, and if you've been playing or watching fighting games, is you can actually tune into the player streams and just watch them if they're streaming. You can watch their matches and then also see their facial reactions at the same time. And it was just like, oh man, that sucked. But when they win, it's like, oh, that's awesome.
That
It
is interesting. Yeah, it's very. I would say it's definitely a new era for Evo. It's obviously something that hasn't happened until now. I mean, I've been to an Evo before,
okay.
um, mid 2000. So this is before it ever exploded into anything corporate, really, right? This is back when they rented like a single.
The hotel. I think it's just like
Yeah,
the hotel. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, they rented out like a single like ballroom in a hotel, and it was so chill and so indie, and just a bunch of people with like sticks on their back, like hey, you want to play? Yeah, let's play. And like when they weren't in the match, I mean, right? That was my Evo experience, and then after that, because I don't live in America, and it's a pain in the ass for me to go to America, right?
Yeah, it's a long
Uh,
trip.
and then after that, it just got so Street Fighter 4 honestly kicked off. I would say this like when SF4 came out, that's when fighting games became, I don't want to say corporate, but like you know what I mean? Like when they became
Well, I think,
like,
huh?
what's the word? Like when tournaments became like sponsored, really.
Yeah, I would say like fighting game in terms of as an esport.
Yeah.
Before, I mean, this is before. Keep in mind, this is still before the term esports was a thing.
Yeah, because like fighting game tournaments have always been a thing, and like as long as you have a group of people who are passionate about like a video game, they'll come together and they'll be like, "Oh, let's have a tournament or something like that,"
Yeah,
right?
just get those friendlies in as well. It's just really
Yeah.
chill. It's a super chill and friendly environment.
Yeah, I feel like at least like back when I was still following the scene, and then like when SF4 came out and like esports suddenly came like into the forefront of people's minds, and like Evo got bigger and huger and ended up on ESPN for some reason. That's like when everything got like changed, I think, and it was good for the players because it meant that they got like way bigger like prize pools, and like now they're like on TV and they have like sponsorships and they're getting like deals. They're on esports teams, kind of, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It definitely kicked off like a different, like a brand new era, I think, for fighting games.
Right. And now, due to the pandemic, everything being online, a lot of those players now, they're always streaming and they're having to find a different way because, they can't just go to a lot of these tournaments that used to happen because some of them just aren't happening. Some of them are
Yeah,
just online with
if you're a
smaller prize
professional,
pools.
yeah, if you're a professional like game player, like that's how you make your living,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah. So now there's a lot of if you follow any of them, yeah, just go find. I mean, check out Justin Wong or
Good
heck,
old Jay Wong, yeah.
yeah, Tasty Steve. Well, Tasty Steve is a commentator, but Nerd Joss, any of these people, and yeah, they all have YouTube channels now. they
Yeah, it's
they
crazy.
all
And
they didn't have
yeah, and
to, but
I think just like with Evo being online, this feels like it could be the start of like another generation of Evo, right?
yeah, yeah, or at least like a separate type of Evo. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like so
Do you ever think like after the pandemic, and being like optimistic here, but do you ever think we'll go back to the huge ass arena Evo?
I
Like
think we
people like
will.
that, I
I
think,
think
right?
I think we will. I
Yeah.
because it's the same thing with the it's the same thing as with the Olympics. When I was watching, homegirl play, it was interesting because the chat was cheering, right? The chat was sending emotes. Of course,
Right.
she can't look at those, and of course, even when they're actually at Evo and playing, they have headphones on typically, and they're not listening to anything. But there is something about when they lose a match and they go into that kind of break, and
Yeah.
or like choose to play again or go back and re-choose a character, just kind of chill. They typically have their teammates behind them. Typically,
Hmm.
if they're on a team where you're friends, whoever, like you might look back and be like, okay, what do I need to do? Like, can I get some information or maybe offer some advice? Or maybe there's an encouraging word. You know what I mean? But in this case, even though the chat was sending that to her, and at like the second match in between that, it didn't feel the same. Like she literally said, like it's not the same. Like I don't know, I just didn't feel like I was at Evo.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're just at home playing like an online tournament, I
Yeah,
guess. Like it's not like Evo, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely go ahead, check out Evo all over the weekend. Next weekend, it'll be going on as well. So do that. And apparently, Aloy is coming to Genshin Impact. I
That's
think
like old
some.
news though, dude. That was
Is that
announced like
old? Oh,
that was announced like weeks ago, man.
well, I'm closing that story then. Splitgate. Have you played any Splitgate
I
then?
have not, but I heard it's really good.
You should play. Yo, I had a blast. I was playing with Ehe, and it was just like an old. I mean, it's just
It's
an
like an
arena
old
shooter.
school. It's like an
That's
arena
it.
shooter. Yeah, yeah,
It has
yeah.
all the modes. Like if you get tired of one mode, you can go to another mode. It has playlists for your modes. I mean, it's nothing that you haven't seen in the past, right? It's just really refreshing to not worry about anything other than, hey, my KD ratio.
Yeah, and I think so. Split Gate is an arena shooter. It's PC only, correct? Yeah.
No, it's actually I think it's on PlayStation as well, like the
Oh,
beta.
like right now, the beta.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, but I mean, like, it's an arena shooter, so which is kind of like at this point, like a little bit of a bygone era, in the last 10, 15 years of shooters, where it's like, ranking up, loadouts and like gun customization and that kind of thing, right?
Right, right.
Like perks or abilities or whatever.
Yeah,
Arena
no,
shooters are just like everyone has the same stats,
stats.
and you go and you find guns, and that's it. Everyone is equal in terms of player ability, but player skill rather.
Right.
That's the deciding
That's
factor
that's the
right there.
deciding factor. The thing with Splitgate and the reason why it's called Splitgate is because
It's
just
like
like
Portal, yeah.
it's
It's like
like
Portal.
Portal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's It's
Yeah.
Portal,
It's like,
essentially.
so if you ever played Portal and you're like, I wish this was a deathmatch, like, okay, there you go. This is
There you
the
go.
game.
This is the game,
Yeah, there
and
you go.
it's really fun because
Yeah.
you'll find people who can really use, like Ed has, like, I don't really use the portal at all that much, and I found myself using it a lot to kind of
Yep.
like peek through and shoot people and like do loops, you know. And then there's
Hmm.
some people who are just too good at it, and you can't move because they just
Yeah,
know how to use that portal, and it's
I can
crazy.
definitely see how the skill gap can get huge after some time, right? Like when
Right, right.
people who are playing this game for days in, days out, and they get extremely well. And because it's an arena shooter, like that becomes, like the deciding factor in matches. Like you have veterans who are like so good, they'll stomp on you.
They'll just
Um,
they'll just stomp. You can't
I
even move.
think I think part of that is also why people find arena shooters so daunting to get into.
Yeah,
Yeah, because if you're like, oh, I heard this game's fun, and you play like your first match and you get crushed, you get absolutely crushed by a veteran, it doesn't feel good, and I can see how it's discouraging, and you're like,
it's
I don't want to
because
play this.
I think it's because you keep in kind of the time to kill is very, very, very short, but you come back conversely very, very fast. You know, it's like 5 seconds or less. You're back in the game. Um, Wait, the time to kill is high.
It's very long
Very,
time to kill, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I could see like just dying over and over in 10 minutes and not really making any progress, as opposed to, like, like these battle royales where you can live even if you don't fight, you're still in the
You're
game.
like in the game for like 20 minutes or something, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um, I can see how arena shooters can get discouraging for new players, and if you're willing to put the time in, if you are the kind of person that's like, oh, I want to improve my actual skill as a player, then this is maybe for you. Like you'll have a couple of tough matches, but you'll see how you get better at a video game. It's kind of like when you get good at Dark Souls, for example. You're like, oh, I can see how this works. It's kind of like that, right?
yeah, yeah. I think
Uh,
this is still a little. I'm not sure how the matchmaking is on it, but it was really lenient. I had a positive KD and it was fun. There's no recoils to the gun, because it's an arena shooter. So, I mean, yeah.
yeah.
There's no. So I'm over here playing mouse and keyboard, reminiscing back in the day of my old self. Like, oh man, I remember when I used to play these games and it was so much fun. And
Yeah, I'm gonna
man,
download the beta for
it's
this. I
worth it.
haven't I haven't played it yet. I like arena shooters. I mean they're fun. That's how I got my start on PC gaming as well, right? Everyone like kids of our age, right? I think a lot of us played the Unreal Tournament and that kind of thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Time splitters, those sort of things. But yeah, the queue time is now super short. It was taking me like 15 minutes to get a game, so I just didn't get a game, and they finally increased the server capacity, so it's like maybe a minute or less that you'll wait and you'll
Yeah,
get a game. So that's
definitely.
super nice.
Yeah, I think I read on Reddit on something because this is secondhand, but it's like the devs were surprised a little bit of how well people have responded to this, and they're like, "Oh wow, like we're really happy, I guess, that like so many people like this game."
Yeah,
They
I
weren't
think
like
it might be fatigue. I know Ehe was saying like he was just kind of like tired of playing battle royale type stuff,
it's
and
definitely a change of pace. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's totally change of pace. Yeah,
I guess I'll
Prowler
yeah.
nerf.
The Prowler nerf. Do we want to talk
It's
about the
so
Prowler
strong.
nerf?
Was I talking to you about this or was I talking to
Yeah,
someone else about
I
this?
think you were talking to me about this. I mean, I've heard so many things about, and I mean, let's be real. The devs always, this is what they do, and it's because it's easier to nerf things than it is to like
to
tick things
balance
back
to
up,
balance the rest
right?
of the guns. So the
So
Prowler is strong. Like yeah, basically. What surprised me the most about the Prowler is that so anyone who plays Apex, I guess, would know this, but they took the alternator away and in its place the Prowler came back. But in my mind, the Prowler was always supposed to be equal to the R99, not the alternator.
yeah, that's
And
true.
in arenas, the alternator, in terms of cost, like in terms of a starting game weapon, the alternator was replaced with a prowler. So in early game, you're using a prowler and not an alternator, and it's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
mean,
it's
sometimes
so
I
strong.
still wish, and I know Respawn said they're not going to balance both modes separately, but they really should think about balancing both modes separately.
Well, I mean,
I mean, they have it. It seems like they do have two teams working on battle royale and
the easiest
arenas.
fix is just make the prowler more expensive. That's it. That's make the Prowler more expensive, and people can't use it in round 1 or round 2.
How do
And
they
there you
not?
go.
How do they not? I've always wondered. Like, I guess I did hear someone talking about this. Is they may or may not have testers. They probably have testers,
They
but
do, they do, they
it's
do, they
probably
do.
them also. They're testing for fun, right? There's no pros sitting there playing
Right,
this game,
right.
so it's like, hey, I got the Prowler. It's a lot of fun round 1. You know what I mean? Like, I really like this gun. Okay, yeah, let's just keep it as it is. We want people to have fun with it. But then for most people who play outside of their environment, we're like, what is this doing here?
Yeah.
Why
So
is
the
this round 1?
Prowler is a 3 burst kill on a purple shield. So if your opponent has a purple shield and you land 3 clean bursts, it's a 3 burst kill. If you can control the recoil, it's a 2 burst kill on headshots. If you can control the headshots, it's a 2 burst kill with a purple
Right,
shield.
right.
It's very, very
Or
strong.
if you're like me and you're bad at bursting,
It's like
just
six
put that
bursts.
bad boy in
It's like six.
automatic and just
Ye-
let it rock.
But the
Just
Prowler
run
doesn't.
around.
They took that away. It doesn't have.
Oh, the select fire's gone.
It's gone. They took it away. Yeah, they took it
Oh
away.
well, I guess it's time for me not to use that gun again.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's what's happening. I know Seer is out as well, and people are enjoying or hating the Seer Prowler. What else is happening? Weird meta. That's just
Siri is a very interesting character for sure. So I've been playing with some people, and the one guy that I play with, one of the guys that I play with, he's like, "Oh, I'm a Seer main now. Like now I'm a Seer main because this kid is
Bloodhound
very
mains are just like, what? But what about us?
Seer is very powerful, and I would say like so the thing about his tactical, right? We were talking about this maybe last week or 2 weeks before, but his tactical, oh man. So it lets you see enemies through walls like Bloodhound scan.
Right, right.
It's not as wide. It's way more directional. It's not like a huge ass angle on the scan. It's very like straight.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
narrow. It's
tunnel.
narrow.
It's like
narrow.
just a narrow tunnel that shoots out
Right.
essentially.
But the thing about that tunnel is that it's 75 meters out. It goes through walls. It reveals health and location and shields. It also does a little bit of damage. It's like 10, 15, maybe like 10 to 20 damage. And when you get hit by it, it blinds you for like a second.
You think you think they're doing a little bit too much. You think just a little bit too much. I mean, this has
It's
kind of happened
crazy.
with
It's crazy.
Valk, right? Valk had
Yeah.
like a couple of abilities. It's like, okay, it actually does this, and now Seer's like, it does this, and another thing. And you're like, so you have to imagine that these whatever legends come down the line are gonna start getting some, like, they're all gonna be like this.
Like power creep, right?
They're all gonna be
Essentially.
power creep. I don't even know what the original legends are gonna be like. They're just be like, what happened to us?
They have to make it to like Bangalore's smoke. You choke on it or something as well. Like yeah, I don't know.
It does. No, Bangalore talked to Caustic, and now her smoke or
Smoke
caustic
does damage,
or
yeah.
caustic grenades. That's it. That's
But did you hear? Like speaking of caustic though, they unnerfed him. So
they returned him to normal, but then
Yeah.
they uncapped it. I love how they it was like, okay, so the nerf was, instead of counting 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to the max tick damage,
Yeah.
it's now doing
like
5, 5, 6,
pop.
6, 7, 7, and it doesn't. There's no limit. It just keeps going.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, great, thanks. Why did you
Yeah.
do that in the first place?
Yeah, so they made it so it's his gas is because his gas capped out at what 5 or something previously.
Previously, the previous nerf, it just was 5 constant.
Yeah, and then people are just like, oh, you can sit in it and heal through the gas. You can heal through the gas.
It's stuff like that. You're like, why on earth are you just like, out of all the characters, they're like, we don't want him to be so powerful in the final ring. I'm like, how many caustics were making it to the final ring, Respawn? How many?
Yeah, so they like unnerfed caustic, I think, and then they also like nerfed Octane. So they gave him a really good buff, which is like I use Octane, so to me I was happy about that. And then they nerfed him, and I'll put that in quotation marks. They nerfed him by making his stim do more damage, but they also made it so it has no cooldown. So I'm like, well, so I can stim
Okay,
forever.
so you're just still damaging yourself a little bit more now.
Yeah, well, the idea is supposed to be balanced. So let's say I stim constantly like a madman because there's no cooldown, but I end up in the line of fire. I only have shields at that point, so
Yeah, I'm telling them what they don't know is they need to rebalance the jump pad. That's what it is.
Oh, that jump pad is awesome. That jump pad is
nobody caring about the fact that Octane is running by or juking by. I don't care about Octane
that
running
jump pad
by
is
me.
The best. That jump pad is so good.
Octane's freaking jump pad is what it is. That is like
it's so good.
when the character is only key for one thing,
You can
but does it
fly,
so
man.
well.
You go so far. You
Oh
go
man,
so far. It's great.
gosh,
It's great.
Apex Legends. I'm probably taking a break this season from it, but I will be. I'll be back on it again. Maybe next season. I've been enjoying just like free time, not worrying
Yeah,
about.
free time. That's why people who don't play MMOs are like, I can play all of these games. People who play MMOs are just like, I'm raiding this week and next week and the rest of my life. Speaking of MMOs, have you guys considered playing Final Fantasy 14 for free trial? It's
Do you want to
it's
add
like,
like award-winning story writing
mm.
featured in Final Fantasy 14?
No, but it's
You can
legit.
know.
14 is great. And they have a lot of new subs thanks to like the people being unpleased, not
Oh,
pleased
you know,
with WoW.
well now it's not just WoW. It's the company of Activision
It's an
Blizzard.
interview.
It's
It's
now
an
it's
every one.
actually yeah. That is, I mean, we haven't talked about that, and we're probably not going to talk about it because it's honestly just it's one of those things where humanity do better, please,
Humanity.
please.
Yeah.
Look, just do better. I
Yeah.
don't ask much of you. I just ask that you do better.
Right.
But yeah, following up on the story we were talking about last week, this is where we're going to close out. The Ariana Grande uh, concert. I don't know if it's consort, but the concert that
Nope,
happened
not one
in
of those. Yeah. Yeah.
in Fortnite with this Rift event, which was trippy. I mean, I'm looking at we got the video up right now, and we're just looking at it. It was trippy.
Should we play Fortnite?
I mean, honestly, when I was playing Splitgate, I had this one thought. I talked to Ehek because I was on kill sprees.
Should I
And
play
you
Fortnite?
should know that I usually don't get on kill sprees, but my Apex experience was taking me years and leagues above other people. I thought they were bots. So I was like, is this what Fortnite would be like? Just minus the building, we'd just be owning people? And he's like, probably. Yeah. I was like, oh, I
I
wouldn't
like,
mind that.
man, I don't know. The thing about Fortnite for me is like I just don't give a shit about building. You
Yeah,
know what I
it's
mean?
I think they have modes where you don't have to build though. Isn't
Really?
is there one mode you don't have to build, or maybe there isn't? I don't know. You know
Like
what? Maybe we should do it.
I
We
know
should do
it's
it. You're gonna find me one day, and I'm gonna be streaming Fortnite,
Fortnite, and you're like, and I'm like, what the hell happened to you? No.
and I might be I might be the king of Fortnite soon.
Yeah. The
No,
king of Fortnite. Oh man.
I will join my big brother Ninja. I'm coming.
He's playing FF11.
He's playing 11,
Yeah.
award winning, not current RPG.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this happened, and it's kind of cool just to say like it was more of an event. Like you're not playing Fortnite. You're like literally this is like a Disney ride
Yeah, it looks
or
pretty crazy,
a
man.
theme park ride, but there's
Yeah.
her music going on in the background and
Yeah.
special skins
Yeah.
and I guess everything's happening and leads you to her actual concert, which is freaky. I'm just gonna say that. But could you imagine something like this for Miku or you know what?
Maybe. I mean, I know Fantasy Star Online 2 had a Miku crossover event because it's Sega, right?
Right.
It wasn't like this though. It was just like you can listen to Miku and like you can listen to her songs in like this plaza area. That was really it. Nothing like
Yeah.
this though.
Yeah, this is actually pretty cool. Like, it's just like a virtual concert, of course, but with really nice backgrounds and just it's just a concert that's happening. I think she sung 5 songs, and of course, we were talking last week that there will be more artists participating in this event that is going on. Like, what in the world is happening on this screen? She was like dancing. Now they're in bubbles.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know. This is life.
This
The
this
only
is
thing I walked out of this knowing is humanity do better. Fortnite.
what? Humanity do better Fortnite. Yeah. You're welcome, Epic. Go ahead and use that.
Yeah. Just pay us just 10%. Probably
Yeah,
a per, just, no no sorry
of all
sorry a
V
percent.
bucks you ever make,
Sorry,
10% of
a percent. We'll take 1%. That
yeah,
is a great deal.
it's still a lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot of money.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of money for us. And we'll be like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, anyways, that's gonna do it for us this week. Once again, where can they find you if they want to follow you on any social media or other
Yeah, you can
places?
follow me on Twitch actually. Twitch.tv/root24. I'm also on Twitter. So you call me on you can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/24 Bandoro, which is Root24 but in Japanese. It's 24 BANDOURO.
There we go. There we go. And you can follow me on Twitter at Adrian Morris. Just literally my name because, well, why not?
Wait, you just
Eh,
dox yourself. Holy shit, dude.
what?
Yeah, you just dox yourself. Holy shit.
What do
People
you
know your name.
mean? Oh, it's not
Yeah.
my real name. It's
Oh yeah.
no, no, no. No, it's there. It's out there. Just follow me there. You can follow the podcast at UGP_cast, and of course you can check me out on Twitch at NinjaTrix. Currently playing Death's Door, cute game about a crow that is a Grim Reaper.
Interesting. I'm playing Dragon Quest 11.
We continue our journeys,
Yep.
and that's going to be it for this episode of the Unknown Games podcast. And we'll catch you next week for episode number 97. Alex, are you going to join me for Phasmophobia VR on Saturday?
Like this Saturday?
Yeah. Either in
Uh,
VR or not VR.
you have to like remind me. I mean, I'll play with you at least in non-VR. I mean, for me to, yeah, just let me know. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Looking for some good clips this weekend.
Sure.
Am I going to
should
give
be
it?
good. Should be good. Should be good.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll check y'all later.
All right. Sounds good. Peace.